Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello, dear friends and fellow Side Quest listeners. My name is Claire after all, and I'm a co-working charity and variety streamer on Twitch and a co-host of the upcoming dating sim podcast, Date With Us. More importantly than all that, though, I'm here today to tell you about the game Boyfriend Dungeon. Boyfriend Dungeon is one of my favorite games in the world. It was released on August 11th of 2021 after being successfully kickstarted in 2018. You can play it on Switch, Xbox, Linux, Microsoft Windows, macOS, Steam, all the good stuff. And it was developed and published by Kitfox Games out of Montreal, Canada, which honestly their website already has me ready to pack up and move to Montreal, but that's beside the point. I wanted to start by reading the game description, but then go through and talk a little bit about what the actual experience of playing the game is like. So the press kit game description is: plunder the dunge as you fend off dangerous monsters and take your weapons on romantic dates. Woo your weapons in this flirty, playful, and welcoming world filled with mastery in the procedurally generated dungeons. Serving up a dose of summertime fling nostalgia, take your dates out as you uncover their stories and level them up. Embark on blossoming relationships with your weapon cuties as you capture their hearts in friendship and in love. In this lighthearted, fantastical shack and slash filled with adventure, improve your skills and fend off the monsters together, because the couple that slays together stays together. Now, first of all, I hope you're already in just based on that. But anyway, Boyfriend Dungeon is a game that is part procedurally generated dungeon crawl with some roguelite elements. And then there is the other part of it, which is obviously a dating sim. You start arriving in a little town called Verona Beach. It's a map with about 20 locations by the end of the game. And a new hobby is taking the area by storm. They call it going to the dunging. There are weapon people in the world. So there are weapons and wielders. Your weapon people, which are most of the people that you meet in the game as far as dateables, are weapon people or perhaps weapon cat, depending on what you're looking for. And you meet up with your cousin, you get a sublet from him, he tells you about this new hobby that people are doing, and it's like a way for you to make a little bit of spending money if you want to, because there are mysterious coins that people leave. They sort of hand wave some of that stuff of the dungeon. But more importantly, your cousin wants you to get out there and start dating a little bit. So you're able to bounce around the town, you can go to shops, you can go, there's like a gym, there are a bunch of different places, including a blacksmith. So you meet a blacksmith because there is an actual blacksmith who works on regular weapons that are not weapon people. And he becomes the sort of, I would describe him as the central villain of the game, I guess. I just really fucking hate Eric, honestly. Anyway, you arrive. The gameplay loop, you wake up in a sublet from your engaged cousin Jesse's studio. You bounce around the town and then you go to the dungeon. So there are various combat styles. Each dateable character is also a different type of weapon. And so that means that when you go to the dungeons, you may want to actually try to play with different people depending on the people that you are romancing. You may want to play with them in the dungeon. Obviously, then you get deeper relationships with all of these people the more you play with them. But at the same time, you might be in love with someone on the surface that maybe you prefer to play with a different weapon person in the dungeon. Or if you're me, you love literally all of them and you can't do a playthrough without romancing all of the dateable characters. Which, if you're curious about them, I will just run through them very quickly for you right now. And hopefully that's enough to get you to go pick up the game immediately. The dateable characters in Boyfriend Dungeon are Isaac, who is an estoc. And if you are like me and have no idea what that means, it's like a fencing weapon. Isaac is also, I should say, like sexy lawyer, sexy businessman. I don't remember. Anyway, Sunder is a club owner, and he is a talwar, which is like a sort of a sword that has like, he's like a little into pain, if you will. Valeria is an artist and a set of daggers. Seven, who is my favorite character in the game, Seven is a K-pop idol who is trying to decide if he is going to stay with his group or leave the group. He is a laser saber that has a chain lightning effect. Sawyer, who is this like precious person who is like fresh in college. They're a glaive. Pocket is the aforementioned cat, who is a set of brass knuckles so that you can scratch and hack your way through through the dungeon. Then we have Rowan, who is a scythe and a non-binary witch. Jonah, who is an axe, who just wants to be a big sweet man. And Leah, who is a former gymnast and a hammer. So you have so many different options. Literally everyone is hot. All of the like combos in the dungeon, button-wise, they are the same series of buttons, so it is less hard to learn with each person. Like, the combos are doing different things, but the combos themselves are the same, which I feel like is huge for me. I don't know. I don't play a lot of like fighting games, so I don't know if that's normal or if that's like, special to Boyfriend Dungeon, but that is true and I like it. So there are 3 different dungeons that show up throughout the course of the game. They each represent a different like fear or anxiety that you might be carrying with you. And so the monsters in the dungeon reflect that. And so you and your partner come together to fight your way through the dungeon. And if you die, you get sent in an ambulance home to deal with that the next day. All of this being said, you continue in that cycle where you're getting to know people as you are going on dates with them both on the surface and having like short rest dates with them in the dungeons. You deepen your relationship and can ultimately choose if you'd like to be platonic or romantic with folks. You get to choose if you'd like to be sexual with them when those things come up, or if you'd like to just move past that or stick in the platonic area, or rather be romantic without sex. And they do a really great job of being able to kind of choose your own path with people. And speaking of that, they also have some accessibility stuff in the game that I thought was really great, which is you make zines, and then the zines give your character different like powers, and then you also have different clothing items, and those clothing items can give you different like bonuses or even nerfs or whatever, so you can find those things and change your experience in the dungeon to make it more attuned to who you are as a player. And then additionally, at the top of the game, they warn you get the choice that a character named Mom is going to text you throughout the game, and you get the option to turn that on or turn it off, which I personally did leave it on, but there is definitely a different version of this game or a different, person's name that might be popping up there that I would have loved to turn off. So I thought that was really huge. And then they did add, I think it came out as like, if I'm remembering correctly, it came out with a little bit of like feedback from the community that there would also be good to have a content warning about like either toxic relationships or stalking or a couple of other things based on like the villain part of the game that I don't want to go too far into so that you can experience it yourself. But Boyfriend Dungeon has been so beloved across the dating sim community that I don't know, that they've made an art book and a tabletop role-playing game. They've released more music, and it's all so, so good. So I urge you to look it up, and I hope you have some fun playing it. I've been Claire After All, and you can find me on the internet under the same name or on the upcoming podcast Date With Us, a dating sim podcast. I hope you enjoy Boyfriend Dungeon, and sincerely, happy gaming.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what that Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all those games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.